This video is going to have a double intro because I recorded this video maybe end of spring, beginning of summer 2020. And I've held on to it with the plans of editing and getting it uploaded. I just hadn't gotten around to doing that, sorry. But I'm finally ready to upload. I do want to make a note that this particular product that I'm going to talk about in this video, I mainly like using it for glitter polishes where I've used up a lot of the base and there's a lot of glitter left over though. So like my green ocean that I will mention in this video, for instance, I had used up maybe 3/4 of my bottle and there was very little base coat left over in the bottle, and whatever was left was pretty thick, but there was still so many of the flakies left over. And so I knew that I didn't need so much a thinner, like a nail polish thinner like this, because there's not a lot of polish to thin out. A lot of what was left was the little flakies. I knew that I needed a base coat, which is where this comes in, and that's what I've been enjoying using it for. I mentioned 90 Lacquer's Sugar Plum. That polish is just really thick, and that was the one that where this product I don't feel did so well with it. So this is not an end-all be-all solution to thinning out polishes. I just want to make a point of that. So with polishes like that one, like Sugar Plum, where it's still, I add the base and it's still a little thicker, I have found that adding a little bit of nail polish thinner, maybe a few drops of this, will help it out a little bit more. I've had to do that with a couple polishes like 90 Lacquer. I can't remember the other one that I used the thinner for. I know that, oh yeah, I did. Some of my my Christmas glitters, where I recently made a video with for Christmas glitters, like Son of a Nutcracker from Funky Fingers. I added base coat. That one I don't think I needed to add thinner to, but there was another glitter that I used that I needed to add the base coat and a little bit of the thinner to help it out a little bit. So sorry, I wanted to come on and mention that really quickly. I hope that you guys find this video helpful. I know you guys, some of you guys have been asking me what I used to thin out polishes. To thin out polishes like cream polishes, I've been using the Beauty Secrets nail polish thinner. I've also used the nail polish thinner from OPI. That one works really well. Actually, I used that one for years and years, but I'm recently using the one from Beauty Secrets. If your glitter polish still has a lot of base, it's just gotten thicker, I think it's just best to go in with a nail polish thinner, not so much the glitter base, because at least there's still base for you to thin out. Hey guys, in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys the product that I've been using to thin out some of my very dense glitter polishes. I have 3 here to share with you guys, and this is the product that I've been using. I've played around with this quite a bit. I've been able to restore my green oceans from Sinful colors. I had used up majority of this polish, but there was quite a bit of glitter left in here and I really wanted to utilize it. I poured some of this nail polish Glamour Base into my green ocean and I was able to restore it, and I'm really happy with it. Yesterday, what I also did is thinned out my different Dimensions Malificent. This was very thick. It was still somewhat manageable, but it was extremely thick and it was becoming a little bit tricky to get this on the nails. So I added some of the Glamour Base into this to thin it out a little bit more. And then what I also did, because it was still a little bit thick and I wanted to empty out some of there was so much glitter in this, guys. So much glitter, it's ridiculous, but in such an awesome way, because all of these glitters are really beautiful. And so what I did is I poured some of this nail polish into this and then added even more of the Glamour Base, and I was able to create a little topper, and I'm really happy about that. So after I restored Maleficent, this one, I was able to get it back to this where it applied very well. It gets opaque at 3 coats, which is, I believe that's how many coats it took before I restored it. And then over here, I have the little topper, 2 coats of, where is it? It's right over here. This one, 2 coats right over here, but this is 1 coat of the glitter topper. So it applies it a little bit more sparingly. I was also able to do that with 90 Lacquer's Sugar Plum. I'm gonna link a video down below where I show you guys how dried out this was. There was absolutely no base coat left in this. There was only pigment and glitter, but the brush was damaged. It was just completely dried out. There was no base coat. So I went ahead and added some of the Glamour Base into this as well to restore it, and now it actually moves. If I have a picture of what it looked like, I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. This one though, it's still pretty freaking thick, even though I went ahead and thinned it out with this, or restored it with this, better yet, and then I even poured some of the one from 90 Lacquer into a new bottle and added even more base coat. And so I was able to get a little purple jelly topper, but this is still very, very thick. I don't know what the formulation is on this. I'm not really sure. It's very candy-like, and I emptied out a lot. I mean, a lot. And I know it's not the Glamour Base because none of the other glitter dense polishes are performing that way. I did the same thing with Atlantis. You see how that flows a little bit better? Yesterday it was very, very thick. I had used up maybe half of Atlantis, and if you're familiar with this polish, it has a lot of glitter, and I think I've had it for many, many years, and it finally started thickening up on me, but that's after many years of opening up this bottle. So that's to be expected. I did the same thing with Sunrise Bedtime from OPI, and it flows, look at that. It flows so much better, and it still dries textured even after adding this Glamour Base. So really happy about that one. But I thought today I could share with you guys these polishes. This one, for instance, doesn't even move. Do you see that? It's right there, and it does not move. I tried shaking this. It's just very, very thick. It's almost dried out. It's still, I can still open and swirl my brush in it, but it's extremely thick. This is not something that I can even apply on my nails anymore. And then Maleficent, not Maleficent, this is Here for the Booze from Different Dimensions. I've talked about Different Dimensions on my channel before. I really like these glitters, but they dry out extremely quick. And I'm assuming it's because it doesn't have as many ingredients. I haven't really looked up the ingredients, but this is an indie maker, and usually they don't add as many as like China Glaze, for instance, right? So Here for the Booze, let's show you guys. It's very thick. 90 Lacquer was even, it was not even this. This is somewhat still, it's thick, and it's not really good for application anymore, but 90 Lacquer Sugar Plum was even more dry than this. And this whole idea came about because every time you work through your polishes, the more you use your polish and the lower you get on the polish, the thicker it gets. And specifically with glitter polishes, it gets to a point where it's just not manageable anymore. So then we reach for a nail polish thinner, right? And I was finding that I would apply it to a nail polish and it would work really well. I would apply like 10 to 20 drops, to be honest. Although on the back it says just a few drops. But I always found that a few drops never really works very well. And so 10 to about 20 drops of it will restore the polish, and it would perform really well that one time. And then if I reached for that polish later on again, it was thick again, and so I was having to add more thinner. And every time I add more thinner and more thinner into a polish, it ends up being more thinner than base at that point. So I started thinking, well, all of these glitter polishes have a base coat, and they have a base coat specifically for glitter. So why not try a suspension base coat specifically made for glitter? Very different from maybe if you have made your own Franken polish. I've made my own polishes before, just playing around here at home. Something like this, right? This is just a clear nail polish. It's not a top coat, it's just a clear nail polish. But if you ever find that you're adding maybe, let's see, let me pull my glitters. I have some of my glitters here from Girly Bits. If you ever find putting some of those glitters into this, and then if you see that they start sinking to the bottom or bleeding out into the base, that's because this is not made for glitter to where this product is. So it allows the product or all the glitters, you see that? They suspend within the base really, really well. And the color of the glitters don't really bleed into the base quite as much. So I thought today we would work with different dimensions. I have a couple to restore here, but I think I may just do one of these only because just for time's sake, I'm going to do the same thing for all of them, and then I'll come back and then we'll apply them on the nail wheel. So I have some cuticle pushers here. I have used toothpicks, but toothpicks are a little bit shorter and some of them break really easily just because they're a lot smaller. And then I have a little funnel, and I'm just going to stick that into... This is here for the booze from Different Dimensions. And then I have my nail polish Glamour Base. This I picked up from TKB Trading. And TKB Trading is a site where they sell separate ingredients like the glitters. They also sell base coats for like cream polishes, right? I haven't tried this on just regular nail polish because this is specifically made for glitter and I want to save that for my glitter polishes, but I would totally buy a base coat specifically for creams to see if that works as well. So I'm going to just start pouring this into this guy, and I'm going to keep an eye on it because I don't want it to overflow. And just kind of let it go down. It's going down slowly. And then we're going to mix all of that in. While this is doing its thing, I would not recommend adding this base coat into anything labeled as a top coat. I have tried adding it to my I&M Northern Lights holographic top coat, and not this one. It's an old bottle. I think I tossed it. I wanted to save it to share it with you guys, but I can't find it. I had used up a lot of the base, but there was quite a bit of the holographic left, and so I wanted to see if this thing worked for it, and I poured it in, and it made it look very cloudy. And when I applied it on my nails, it also looked really cloudy. So I wouldn't recommend it for something like this. This is just a regular holographic top coat. This is also a holographic top coat, but it's the Christmassy one from I&M. I wouldn't recommend it for anything like this. I would even be a little bit iffy in putting it into something like this. This is the KB Shimmer Yes Weekend. It's also labeled as a top coat on their website. Although I've used it as a topper and then added a separate top coat over top of it. I've never actually tested out to see if this dries glossy, but I don't want to risk it, to be honest with you. I would though just stick to adding this into just regular glitter polishes. Let me make sure. Okay, I think I can add a little bit more of that into this. Let me do that. I had not realized how much of the base had dried out on this, and now I'm getting all this on my nails. Okay. There's a bubble, and I think there's just a lot of glitter on the neck of the bottle, so it's making it a little harder for it to get in there. I'm gonna grab my little cuticle pusher and just try to start mixing this in. And I just grabbed a cotton ball and some 100% acetone to clean this off. I'm gonna clean out this brush, and I'm just gonna clean some of that off with a napkin. And let's put this in and try to shake it up a little bit. Let's see. I kind of wish I had one of those nail polish shakers. It flows a little bit better. It still feels a little thick, but it moves. You see that? There's just so much glitter in this guy. Alright, so this is where I tried to apply it before. Let me apply it right next to it. And it actually moves now. Look at that. So much better. Same experience I had, well, similar experience I had with Malificent. Malificent though was not as, this was just dry. Very, very dry. Let me use this guy. You see that? Let me do the same thing. I'm gonna do this off camera just to save on time. And let me just mix this in as well. Okay, let's apply this. And this dries textured, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. I feel like it applied more glitter even. It still feels a little bit thick too though. I'm gonna add another coat of different dimensions. I've added this to a couple of my nail polishes and it's worked out really well. Not only did it thin them out a little bit and made it a little bit more manageable to apply on the nails, I wanted to make sure that I found something that also in time, the polish would still perform really well. So that's here for the booze. I think I keep calling it Malificent. That's what it was before, and this is what it is now. This is probably the best example because it's the one that was the most dry. And then this is a China glaze. What is this called? Where's the party cannon at? Right? Yeah. Where's the party cannon at? And this is what it is now. This still needs to dry. And it will dry textured. I tried it with another texture polish and it does work really well. But I feel like it's still pretty thick. Look. But it's a lot better. Compared to what it was before, it wasn't even moving very well. It wasn't flowing to where now there's movement on this. And this is just an experiment, by the way, just like kind of playing around with things. And so far I've been happy with this product because I've been able to salvage, especially like this one for instance. I was able to salvage this and so that I can utilize every little piece of glitter that's in Green Ocean because this is one of my all-time favorite toppers. So I was really happy with that. Let me try Maleficent, although I did not, you know, restore this one on camera, but this is one that I restored yesterday because it flows really, really well. Look at that. Right there. It applies very well. Let me show you Sugar Plum from 90 Lacquer. Now this one is still pretty thick. Look at that. It's still thick. But if you remember that video, it was dry. Like completely dried out. To where now there's movement. But do you see that? How it's so stringy still? I don't know what the formula is. I don't make polishes, you know. And then Bedtime Sunrise. Freaking love this polish also. And this one wasn't moving either. And now it flows very well. Look at that. There's movement in this now. Before it was just now really, really thick. To where this still loads up on the glitter on the brush because there's so much glitter in this as well. But it wasn't moving very much. It was becoming very, very thick and difficult to apply. Let's try Atlantis as well. While the other polish is dry here. Because Atlantis is performing really well also. And this one also has a jelly base, a green jelly base, but it doesn't feel as stringy as the one from 90 Lacquer. It moves. It flows still. To where 90 Lacquer is just very, very stringy, almost like candy, like kind of like taffy. I was really looking to mainly work on here for the booze. You see that? I'm gonna link the product down below so you guys can take a look and then read up on it yourself as well. And they have a bunch of things. I've bought glitters from them as well. I think bar glitter or something like that. Let me actually try, not this one. Ooh, where is it? The little topper that I got out of it. This is from Different Dimensions. And it's Malificent. I poured some of the glitter into this and then poured a ton of base because I wanted to empty it out a little bit so it had more base than glitter because it was so dense. It was very, very thick. See that? Okay guys, I think this is where I'm going to leave this video off. I'm still testing this product out. I still though wanted to make a video because I've been talking about it since last year, but I really wanted to kind of play around with different things. This one, for instance, I restored I think earlier this year, and it's still doing really well. It still flows. You see that? It still has movement in it. If anything, I feel like the glitters are suspended throughout the base even better than they were before, so I'm really happy with it. So I thought I would share it with you guys, but keep in mind, I'm still playing around. Maybe I could do another video. I've waited a while to make this video because I wanted to make sure that all of the polishes were still doing well before I talked about it. And I'm still waiting, you know, I'm still testing things out, and I wanted to wait and see how these were still performing, and it still performs really, really well. It's been about 6-7 months or something like that. These, I made this and let me see. I made these 2 polishes and they still perform very well. See that? Let me actually, these are just basic glitter toppers. Let me put this over here so you can see that it's clear. I made these maybe sometime last year. I don't know, maybe beginning of last year, something like that, just to play around. And they still work really, really well. So overall, I'm really happy with this product. It's not overly expensive. I'm gonna link the website down below if you guys are interested. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it super helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.